Well, it is a national day of action for same-sex marriage. Celebrities and supporters are gathering in Sydney's Martin Place and also in Melbourne's Bourke Street Mall to get behind Marie Claire's magazine campaign, I Do.
But the issue still divides much of Australia, so let's hear from both sides face to face. On one side, we have gay rights activist Dr. Kerryn Phelps, and on the other, the Australian Christian Lobby's Jim Wallace. Good morning to you both. Thanks for doing this. Kerryn, let's start with you. Is Australia in danger of falling behind the rest of the world on this issue?
We've already fallen behind the rest of the world on this issue. In fact, Australia is the only English-speaking democracy now where the leader of the country does not support marriage equality. Now we have the New Zealand leader saying he will support that legislation when it comes to Parliament. Barack Obama is in support. All of the other English-speaking nations are in support. So we have.
Do they all have legislation, though? How many have legislation?
Many have legislation. A lot of them have legislation pending. Certainly, if you look globally, we have countries like Argentina, a lot of states in the USA, Spain, Portugal. We have France moving towards marriage equality. So the movement is very strong around the world.
Well, I'd just like to take that up because that's an absolute nonsense, Kerryn, and you know it. You know, we have 196 countries in the world. 10 of them have legislated for same-sex marriage. So we're not, despite this normal spin that's put on it by people like you, we are not in a situation of falling behind the rest of the world. We are right there with the rest of the world in recognising that marriage is between a man and a woman. And I would like to just say that I think this whole campaign would do great credit to Joseph Goebbels, you know, because what we've had is we've had the demonisation.
Hang on. Wait a minute, Kochi. That's a bit emotional. Let's stick to the fact. You tell us. You tell us, Jim, what's wrong with same-sex marriage?
No, I will, but you've changed.
We're here for a debate.
You've changed the rules, and I'm going to make this point first of all, and that is
accusing people of being Nazis.
I am accusing Seven and Sunrise of getting into this campaign as a foreign affairs and news show as an activist, right? And I think that's quite wrong.
Did you think that when we had issues, followed-up issues on superannuation?
No, you're not.
Organ transplant?
Yeah, you are not. You are not following up this issue. You have come on as an activist.
We're giving you a chance. Talk to it. Give us your view.
You have partnered.
Don't
I will.
slag us.
No, I'm just saying.
Give us your view. What's wrong with same-sex marriage?
Well, first of all, the issue is that marriage is about children. It's about enshrining in our legislation that marriage is between a man and a woman because of children, because motherhood and fatherhood are important.
Rubbish.
And there are consequences. Motherhood and fatherhood are not
every
important,
day
are
of
they,
the
Kerryn?
week at the moment. Men and women are getting away with no intention of having children and with no biological possibility of having children.
That makes no difference to the intention of marriage, which is
You're telling me two people in their 70s have an intention to have children? Absolute nonsense. You're not speaking rational sense.
That is nonsense,
Jim, is this one of those issues, like women voting and Aborigines not being able to walk into the front door of a pub, where the times are changing and we have to, as a society, change our views? Do you think that?
No, because those issues were all around issues of discrimination. Now, it's been well proven, everybody knows there is no discrimination against gay couples. They have all the rights of de facto couples. And why aren't all the de facto couples in Australia out there demonstrating about this is the case? It's also not a human rights issue because the European Court of Human Rights, as recently as last March, have said this is not a human rights issue, and that's not the first time. You are misquoting the European
Court of Human Rights just like you misquote the Bible consistently. The European Court of Human Rights, what they said was that this was an issue to be handed to the sovereign nations of Europe. We've had countries like America, Canada, South Africa who have said this is a human rights issue. So you are selectively choosing one statement and taking it out of context, which is what you do all the time. If you are truly representative of Christians, why are you not protecting the rights of children who are being raised by same-sex couples whose parents do not have the right to marry currently?
I must say, it's not just Christians, it's Jewish religion, Islam, you know, it's all of the churches.
Well, it's 50% of Australians. I mean, amazingly, and this is where I get annoyed at the press, Koshi, and that is that we had a poll, a Galaxy poll, only in May, that recorded that only 50% of the population support this. And yet it was reported as an increase in the support for gay marriage, whereas the Galaxy poll last August said that 60% supported it. Now, you know, there is simply no fair go out of the press on this, and now we have a current affairs and news program, an active participant as a campaigner.
We're having a debate because we're giving both people the sides. On that point, Kerryn, Cameron has emailed in, like a lot of people have, and said, as a conservative, Conservative, this campaign makes me feel like my views are insignificant and they're irrelevant. A lot of people think that way. What do you say to that?
This is actually an issue for both sides of politics. I think whether you're Conservative or Progressive, if you're Progressive, this is about social progress. If you're a Conservative, this is about people committing themselves to each other, lifelong, to interdependence, to mutual support, to the raising of children, if they so wish, in an environment of legal protection. And so whether you're Conservative or Progressive, and that is why now at least 63% of Australians are supporting marriage equality, in excess of 80% of Australians are saying it's inevitable.
Like, it divides my family. We have a really healthy debate on this. Why are you so hung up on the term marriage? Because a civil union gives you all the legal rights, all the fairness, everything on running a life. Like, do you go to church?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so is this a religious issue for you? Because there are a lot of religious...
I was married in a religious service in 1998, and my religion, which is Progressive Judaism, actually supports marriage equality, as does now the conservative Jewish movement in the US.
Because it upsets so many people when, in terms of running your life, it makes no difference, does
Why
it?
can't it be a civil union certificate? Why does it have to be the marriage?
Let me say, let's take a heterosexual couple and say to them, OK, we are going to have equality now, and so you can have a civil union, and same-sex couples can have a civil union, and so that it's a level playing field. And if heterosexual couples wish to have a marriage and same-sex couples wish to have a marriage, then that's a level playing field as well. This is about equality.
But the logic that follows from that is that if we are going to change marriage to whoever you love, it's only about love. Then, as we've seen in the last 2 weeks, we have polyamorous making demands for marriage, and we have polygamists making demands for marriage, and we are concerned about the best interests of children. We saw Nico, I'm sorry, her last name is impronounceable, but one of the polyamorous out there last week in the papers saying that it's a very confused and complex business, but nonetheless we move through it with joy. But what about the children that are in that situation?
I am thrilled that you've raised this issue of polygamy, because in every nation where polygamy is legal, being gay is illegal, and in every country where same-sex marriage is legal, polygamy is illegal. Yeah. And to add to that, in every country where same-sex marriage has become legal, this is the desperate argument of people who know that they've lost the plot.
Well,
okay,
that is a
final word
nonsense.
from Jim.
If this is your trump card, that is the joker.
Kerryn, let's let Jim have the final word.
Marriage is there for a good purpose for society and for children, and it doesn't matter how good a parent, and I'm sure she is, Kerryn might be, she cannot be a father to her children. And we need to ensconce this idea of motherhood and fatherhood, the notion of it, in our legislation.
All right. We've done a double segment on this. For Sunrise, a pretty long debate, so thank you both for putting your point of view. It's an issue that's being discussed in the community and going to be discussed by your politicians over the next couple of months. As a program, we're a program who reflect those community debates and always will.